Welcome to Insights from Getting Undressed with speaker, author, and coach, David Cooks.
Hi, I'm David Cooks, and welcome to Insights from Getting Undressed, where we speak with readers from across the country to get their insights after reading my book, Getting Undressed from Paralysis to Purpose. Today, our guest is Jacob Nelson from Memphis, Tennessee. Jacob, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Before we get started about the book, I would like for you to take a few moments and just share a little bit about your background, who you are, what you do, and share that with our listeners.
Absolutely. I am in sports sales, which is how I ended up in Tennessee here in Memphis back in January. I was up in your neck of the woods in Wisconsin before. I worked with Dean Renicky and John Kane at the Lakeshore Chinooks and also was at the Milwaukee Brewers seasonally. And then I made the leap to come down to AAA baseball pre-pandemic, and we'll see where I end up afterwards.
Wow, well, that's a great story. You said John Kane. Did you mention John Kane?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know Coach Kane, and he worked with the Chinooks and also as a basketball coach at Concordia University, and that's where he and I connected. So
he's so you and I have only met once before this. I'm not sure if you even remember this, but it was about a year and a half ago at a Runnin' Rebels charity dinner at the Italian Community Center. Our tables were somewhat near each other, and afterwards I introduced myself. John had told me about your book, and it took a year and a half, but I finally read it.
Well, you're right. I don't remember seeing you or meeting you, but you got the book and you read it, and that's I guess that's all that counts today. So,
sure.
All right, let's get started. We ask all of our guests the following three questions, and so we'll get started. The first question is, what story in the book did you relate to the most and why?
Yeah, it was chapter 10, Pride. So as I mentioned, I just moved down to Memphis in January. I took a job as an account executive here with the Redbirds, which is St. Louis Cardinals AAA baseball team. With the Lakeshore Chinooks, I was in a director position, selling all of our corporate sponsorships, larger group outings. So when you initially look at the job titles, it's a step back when you look at just the job titles, which related to me when you were with Coach K and he offered you the manager position as a graduate student. You kind of looked at it and you're like, is this really what I want to do? And ultimately you were like, it's not about the titles, it's about what I can learn and who I'm around. So that really resonated with me.
So it sounds to me like you had an offer to do something that perhaps wasn't as glamorous as people would think or as glamorous as you would have liked for it to be, but you saw that there was a greater meaning and more for you to learn if you took this position.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's one thing to be successful selling in summer collegiate baseball. It's a whole nother thing to move into affiliated baseball, AAA level. So you're one step away from the major. So that's the way I looked at it, as there's an opportunity to take a step back, hone my craft even more, which is what you did with Coach K. You really, even though maybe at times you're filling water bottles, when you were filling water bottles, you were taking it very seriously and everything you did mattered and you had a reason for doing it.
Okay, fantastic. What are some of the key takeaways from the book that you got?
Yeah. So continuing on with what we were just talking about, one's to be open to any opportunity, even if it initially might seem below you or not a good opportunity. You've got to really look at it and see what could you learn from it, and that there could be good value in it. So that was my first takeaway. Secondly, just reading your situation. Even though I'm unemployed now, I'm still in a pretty good situation. Someone always has it worse than you. So just appreciate what you've been given in this life and maximize all of the opportunities and things that you have been given.
Okay.
And then the third takeaway was that your first Christmas dinner back, strawberry pecan pie. I did not know that was a thing. So I definitely am looking it up and I want to try it out.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, the strawberry pecan pie was one of my dad's favorite pies. I'm sorry. Is that a strawberry pecan cake, I should say?
Yes.
Favorite cakes. And boy, it's special. I hope you get to have some. I haven't had any in years, but as a kid growing up and having that be my first meal home from the rehab center, that Christmas was really fantastic. So you talked about taking advantage of every opportunity, know that things are not as bad as they seem all the time, and then you want to know about some strawberry pecan cake.
Yes, sir.
That's good stuff. Hey, all right. What is your favorite quote from the book?
Yeah. So favorite quote, back to the Coach K story, which that whole section about him really resonated. So you said, you never know who's watching and where your next connection may come from. That really resonated with me. Just knowing my time in Milwaukee, all the people I was able to connect with. I mean, you and me through John Kane, who knew we would ever connect? So you just really never know.
Okay. So his favorite quote was, "You never know who's watching what you're doing, so always do the best you can at it." And I mean, that's one of the staples. And when I speak to people across the country, is you just don't know who's sitting next to you or who's been watching you, and so you don't know necessarily where your next breakthrough is going to come. So always do your best. Before we end, we give each of our guests an opportunity to what we call freestyle. And you take a moment and you can share what's ever on your heart about the book and whatever you want people across the country and the world to know about Getting Undressed from Paralysis to Purpose.
Yeah, I would just say that it's definitely a worthwhile read. You might come in with preconceived notions about the book, but once you read it, you'll come out changed, and it really can impact your life and give you a whole new perspective on your situation versus everyone else's situation.
Okay. Well, thank you, Jacob, for joining us today. Now, we'll have more insights from Getting Undressed next time. Remember this: whatever life throws your way, your ability to endure it is always greater than your willingness to endure it.
You can order your copy of Getting Undressed from Paralysis to Purpose at davidcookspeaks.com or on amazon.com. Special thanks to Jacob Nelson for sharing his insights from Getting Undressed.